of the media, and that was Roman Catholic policy for all those years. I should point out, not all of the priests involved with molesting children were Satanists, but some of them definitely were, and that's what I really bring out in Lucifer's Lodge. And there are dozens of other cases, not just Fred Ryan. You know, it's quite amazing.
Yeah. No, and as far as religious bashers, the Edge, we've already been accused of bashing Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, Satanism, whatever, high priest of Satan, whatever. I mean, so, we're an equal opportunity offender. And it's only because as we go through interviews, that these things come up and people like to take little bits and pieces and then post crap on their website about it. Somebody's got a question about I don't know if you said it's not Malachi. How you pronounce his name?
He actually pronounced his name Malachi Martin,
okay.
But he didn't mind if people pronounced it Malachi.
Malachi.
Martin.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have this question then. Was he pushed downstairs by a demon?
Okay. Malachi Martin had heart trouble all through the 1990s, and the last time he fell down and died in 1999, he did tell his doctor, Dr. Rama P. Kumaraswamy, who was a heart surgeon, that he felt a diabolical hand actually push him when he had the stroke. Now, people can take that any way they want. It might have just been a hallucination from the stroke, or it might have been a very real thing. I suspect it was a real thing myself, but there's a lot of controversy around his death. I will say this, Father Martin was very ill the last 5 or 6 years of his life, and I'm surprised he lived as long as he did. Now, this unseen hand, as it was called on the internet, I believe it was diabolical because he was about to write and publish a book called Primacy, How the Roman Catholic Church Became a Creature of the New World Order. He never really got that book off the ground. He had died. But, yeah, I think there was a diabolical influence in his final death. And, people will dispute me on that, and they're certainly welcome to.
Yeah. Now, Malachi Martin, he was one of Art Bell's favorite guests, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a big, now he broke the record on Art Bell shows, and I checked this with the ratings board and such. He had, Art Bell at his top had about 15 million. When Malachi Martin was on, it was like 19 or 20 million. So he was he was at his most famous the last few years of his life, which is quite amazing.
Yeah. All right. Now, when you say there's a sort of an underground of satanic activity and pedophilia within the Catholic Church hierarchy, does that go all the way to the top? Is the Pope involved with it?
Now, I'm not saying that Benedict XVI has sexually abused anyone. What I am saying is he protected pedophile priests for many, many years, and it was church policy. And my own opinion is the only thing worse than a pedophile is someone who protects and enables a pedophile and allows them to go on raping children. So I think Benedict XVI is far worse than many of the sick priests he allowed out there because he let them keep going. I mean, a pedophile is a very mentally ill individual. And the rest of us, we have to segregate them from society, and that's not what Benedict XVI did. Now, when he was Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, people can look this up on YouTube, when this crisis broke under Pope John Paul II, Ratzinger actually slapped the hand of a CBS reporter who confronted him about the pedophile problem. You can see that right on YouTube. He slapped a reporter as if he were a naughty schoolboy. So this is really a deep-rooted and sick thing within the Catholic Church. I don't like Benedict XVI. I think he should be tried in the World Court for crimes against humanity for his protection of pedophile priests. And he should also be charged with impersonating a human being, because you'd almost have to be non-human to allow this to happen.
Well, in the United States, I read a factoid that said the Catholic Church has already paid out over $3 billion in fines. I guess somehow or another the statute of limitation is okay for pedophiles, but $3 billion of payouts. And I'm sure, like any company, when they get fined, it's a very small percentage of their actual wealth total. Has over the centuries the Catholic Church collected billions and maybe even up to now trillions, because their organization goes all the way back through governments and countries. How much do they have in the till?
Okay, when you consider that the Vatican Bank holds 1/4 of the world's gold supply, they're probably the richest organization on earth. They're definitely the richest nonprofit organization. Number 2, to put it in perspective, is Harvard University. So they, as I said, they control 1/4 of the world's gold supply. Now, all the gold in the world would be about a football field a foot deep. That's a rough estimate. There's not a lot of gold in the world. And the Vatican holds that both in gold bullion and in ornamental gold. And when you consider that the euro, the strongest currency on earth, is now backed by gold, that the Vatican is probably the most powerful individual organization on earth, because if they were to flood their bullion on the world gold market, they could crash the euro and subsequently cause a global depression at any time they want. So they're also the most globally expansive organization on earth. They go to more countries than the United Nations or the World Health Organization. When the UN or World Health Organization wants to go to some remote tribe to vaccinate people, they consult with the Roman Catholic Church, because they generally have missionaries in these very remote areas of the earth. So they're the most powerful organization on earth. They're also the largest organization on earth, because they have over 1 billion nominal members. 1 in 6 people on this planet is somehow affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church. So we're looking at a rich, super global organization, and that $3 billion you talked about is just a drop in the bucket for them. And when you consider also that 19 bishops in the United States have been forced to resign for sexually abusing children or vulnerable adults, you can see that the perverts have pretty much taken over the Roman Catholic Church, which again is my church. So I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea about you.
Excellent. Yeah, and the thing I was getting ready to say was that governments and even countries have came and went, while the Catholic Church, when it started way back when, is still there collecting their money. We have this question for you, Bill. Mr. Kennedy, this comes from the Fast Blast. Do you think the reason that so much sexual deviancy in the Catholic Church is because Satan uses our natural desire to procreate to twist their sexuality into perversion? And is this a result of their celibacy that they take that vow, and so then they go lust crazy and just start raping kids?
Well, I really can't tie in celibacy with child molestation, because from the FBI statistics I've examined, most men who are arrested for raping preteen children are actually married with children themselves. So it's really not a matter of pedophiles are in a category all of their own, and they have to be defined very differently from heterosexuality, homosexuality, and celibacy. They're in a pigeonhole in a class all their own. So the celibacy issue, married priests wouldn't solve this problem when you consider that most people arrested for pedophilia are married with children. So it's really hard to blame it on celibacy.
Well, I've said several times on this program that if the Pope ever comes to my town, I will not kiss that man's ring. I know that government leaders fall over themselves to get a kiss on that ring. Bill.